high. It's like my camera, I can't angle it down like I want to. But anyway, I think I'm gonna pop it like this. Let me pop it out. Okay, that's better. Good morning, good morning, good morning. So, I was reading. Oh yeah, make sure you like and subscribe. I was reading Rich Dad Poor Dad, and I realized that a lot of people have read this book, but also a lot of people have not. So I thought, let me make a live letting people know basically the gist of this book. And I've said something regarding this in some of my other lives, or some of my other videos, like a while back. But I thought, let me reiterate this for this new year. A lot of people are right now about to either they filing taxes or they already filed taxes, you know, and they waiting on them coins. That money is probably going to be used to help a lot of people get to another level in their life, such as, you know, buying a new home. Now, I know some people, you know, squander the money shopping, buying shit that they don't need, you know, or buying a vehicle, something that, you know, could depreciate in value. However, if you were to purchase a vehicle and you're using it for the purpose of like renting it out or for the purpose of um, transportation, or using it for transporting not just people but for different things like a courier service, you definitely are investing that money really well when talking about a vehicle. But this particular video is about what you need to do before you buy your house. Before you buy your house, look at all of your factors, all of the things that matter to you, and look at what you need for you and your family. If you have a really large family, you know, it's you, your boyfriend or girlfriend or your spouse, and you all have several children, you know, more than, you know, two or three, you might be looking to purchase a large single family home, and that's totally understandable. You know, if you have 4 or 5 kids, everybody need a room, you know, you may not be able to readily do what I'm talking about. Now, it's still possible for you to do what I'm talking about, but um, just, you know, just listen. Normally, the average family is, you know, 2 parents and, you know, 1.5 kids, right? The nuclear family. So you got 2 parents, 2 kids. You don't need that much space. You probably need like a 2, 3 bedroom or something like that, okay? Before you buy that single family home, think about getting an investment property. Instead of purchasing a home, do an investment property. And I know investment property sounds daunting, but it's really not. The more that I've studied on it and the more that I have learned about it, and gotten ready myself to be embarking on this journey, I see that it is very possible for a person that, you know, not is not making, you know, $500,000 a year or 6 figures, just hitting 6 figures, to do this. It is possible. What happens is if you were to get a multifamily investment property, let's say you go get just a duplex, right? Let's say it's 2 townhomes sitting side by side. Let's say they're both 3 bedroom or at least 2 bedroom, right? You would be able to live in one side and rent out the other. So technically what's happening is your tenant is paying that mortgage for you. So whatever monies that you would have put towards paying your mortgage every month, that's already being paid for you. That's already been done. Mortgage, utilities, all of that is already being paid for you by the person that lives next to you. All right. That is like the main idea of the Rich Dad Poor Dad book. If you've ever read it, if you haven't, pick it up. It is really cheap. You can get it for under $10 or around there on Amazon and lots of other um, places. So the idea is that you live in one space and you're renting out the other space or spaces, and they're paying for your dream, okay? And not just your dream of right now, your dream home, the house that you don't believe you can afford right now. These other people can allow you to be able to afford it. Let's say, for example, you go get a four family. Let's say each one of these has two bedrooms, okay? If you live in one and rent out the other three, then all three of these people are giving you this rental income. Let's say, you're charging here in Dallas, a two bedroom can go for, on the really low end, I've seen, 1200, and on the maybe 13 or so, and even more. And on the higher end, I've seen anywhere from shit 1800, 2000. I've heard as much as 2600 for a two bedroom. All right, depending on the area where you want to live. So people are paying a lot of money to rent. Okay, so let's say that you were renting out each one of these spaces for $1,700. Let's just say. So you are making, if you only rented out two of them, you're still making $3,400. All right, yeah, you're still making $3,400. Okay, every month from just these two spaces. And this would be cool for like the people who do have a larger family. And maybe you live in one, you and your spouse and the younger child, and maybe your older children can live above y'all or, next to y'all in the next one and rent out the other two. You're still making all these coins, especially if you have your residents paying utilities as well. And now you have more to build off of because, of course, you already had allotted however much funds that it was going to cost you to live here, okay? So if you've already allotted, say, $2,000 every month for that, you've already budgeted that out, and now you also have $3,400 coming from these other people, you got well over $5,000 a month just in living income, just in where you're going to live, not groceries, not clothing, not what the outings or whatever else you're going to do, right? So essentially, what you want to do is make sure that you're creating an investment for yourself. Now, of course, if you just buy a single-family home, it is an investment because at some point you're going to be done paying for it, and you're always going to have that home there, something to pass down to your children or relatives or whomever. And it's an investment because a house does, generate value. You will have equity in your home and all these things. So it's still an investment to get a single-family home. I definitely don't want to create the misconception that buying a single-family home is just not an investment at all. It is. It is still an investment, but it's not the best investment that you can make, especially if you're already having issues financially or looking to grow financially exponentially. The best exponential growth financially you're going to have is when you are renting something out, okay? If you buy a single-family home, let's say it has a bunch of rooms. Let's say it's got 4 or 5 bedrooms, and you only have a couple kids. You can rent out those rooms. You can rent out that space. People on Airbnb more and more and more are renting rooms to stay in, not just entire spaces. That's up to you and your comfortability and your agreement with your family and everything, but that's one way that you could turn your single family into basically an investment property. But if you are embarking on a journey of buying your first home, just give it some thought that maybe we should go for looking for something that is a multifamily, a duplex, something of that nature, because it's definitely going to yield you way more income. All right. Another thing to think about when it comes to investment properties is I know that um, when you're embarking on buying, especially for a first-time home buyer, there are a lot of different perks, and you can, get all this money off for buying a house, or you can get different grants and things like that. Well, there are things available for you as a first-time home buyer getting an investment property as well. If you're going to be residing there, it's going to work the same. It's going to work the same. You could I'm buying this duplex, and this is my first dwelling. It's going to work the same. If you are going to call it, an investment property, and you need that percentage to put down on it, here's what happens. What the bank will do is they will look at, if you're letting them know, hey, I am going to be using this as an investment property, I am going to be renting these units out, or I'm going to live in this unit, but I'm going to be renting the rest of them out. And now they're like, well, instead of us looking at this as a first-time home buyer single family purchase, this is now an investment purchase. What happens is they look at the rent around the area where you're at. So let's say all of the rents in the area where you're at are, $2,500 a month. Well, what they would do is count that towards your income. You got 3 other units that you want to rent out. You're going to say $2,500, $2,500, $2,500. So now you're looking at $7,500 a month added to what your income could be. And now you approve. No money down. It's very possible. There's also programs such as NACA. Look at NACA.com. If you have not the best credit, but you know that you make money, you've been working steadily, you have a couple years plus of gainful employment that you can show, and that you've shown that you've budgeted and you pay your bills on time and things like that, you could have a lower than what the banks look for credit score and be able to embark on this journey using NACA's program. So try NACA.com. They don't really advertise. I have never seen a commercial or anything regarding NACA. I heard about them on Instagram before and just did my research from there. So check their program out as well. It's a very great program. You can have housing like Section 8, things like that, and utilize what you're being paid from Section 8 to go towards your mortgage. And yes, you do not have to just be purchasing a single family home with them. You can be purchasing a multifamily, and they help you through the entire process, from the beginning to your closing on the home, okay? So that's just one resource. But make sure that you do your research. Check out, any HUD websites for different perks and different possibilities on the ways for you to obtain a home before you just jump in, go to your, bank or whatever financial institution or mortgage lender and say, oh, I just want a home. You need to come with some information of your own. You need to come with some research of your own and a plan so that them folks don't just be telling you, oh, this is what you're approved for and this is all you can do. Know that there's other options for you that will maximize your dollar. But I hope y'all learned something. Hope you enjoyed this. This has been a free game. Y'all have a wonderful, beautiful, blessed day. Toodles. Bye.